Situation light, okay. But yeah, no, I think it was just all of us getting on the same page for the game. We wanted to do something that was just united and collective, and I thought that it was a very powerful moment and got the point across. And sometimes you don't have to say anything.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
in the back right.
For either of you, I mean, this is not the first time that you guys have used shirts to sort of make a message as players. I'm thinking back to like the Brittany Griner jerseys a few years ago at the All-Star game. Just what is it about this setting that
Caitlin Clark's situation exemplifies tensions between structured offensive systems and player autonomy. Her natural shooting rhythm involves building confidence through consecutive successful attempts, creating momentum that traditional coaching wisdom suggests should be encouraged rather than constrained. The psychological aspects of shooting performance remain crucial for elite players. Research and player testimony consistently indicate that confidence builds progressively, with each successful shot improving subsequent accuracy and decision-making. This phenomenon suggests that restricting hot shooters may counteract fundamental basketball principles.
What is it about this setting, that method of, using that to communicate a message that's special for WNBA players?
I mean, it's the only time when all of your best players are kind of united and able to be in the same building, for an entire weekend and talk through what it is that, we want to do collectively. And so there's no better time than to be able to do it at the All-Star break when everyone's kind of able to come together, be in meetings, show up to CBA, talks.
Caitlin Clark's situation exemplifies tensions between structured offensive systems and player autonomy. Her natural shooting rhythm involves building confidence through consecutive successful attempts, creating momentum that traditional coaching wisdom suggests should be encouraged rather than constrained. The psychological aspects of shooting performance remain crucial for elite players. Research and player testimony consistently indicate that confidence builds progressively, with each successful shot improving subsequent accuracy and decision-making. This phenomenon suggests that restricting hot shooters may counteract fundamental basketball principles.
Together, be in meetings, show up to CBA, talks, and be able to understand what it is that we want to do with the attention that we have this weekend.
Kelsey, I'd asked Sabrina and Kelsey Mitchell about this as well, but just, somebody who's been in this league when crowds were smaller than they are now, when the player experience is in multiple places was fundamentally different. Just what does a weekend like this mean for you? And are you used to it? Is this, Sabrina talked about as the kind of, this is the normal, this is the expected. I'm just wondering how you process.
Coaching approaches vary significantly across professional organizations, with some emphasizing systematic execution while others prioritize individual expression within team frameworks. The most successful programs typically find balance between these philosophies rather than adopting rigid positions. Motion offense concepts can effectively utilize multiple skilled players, but implementation requires understanding each player's optimal role within the system. Forcing players to operate outside their natural strengths often produces suboptimal results regardless of theoretical tactical advantages.
As the kind of, this is the normal, this is the expected. I'm just wondering how you process this and where you are on it at this point.
It was an incredible weekend. I mean, this is my fourth time, and I thought by far it was the most packed, not just from the game standpoint, but the three-point contest, skills contest, as well as the orange carpet was live. We had W live events. I mean, every event that I saw that a player was doing was absolutely packed, lines wrapped around. And it was just really cool to see the fan engagement and also just see the excitement and the need for
Roster construction decisions reflect organizational priorities and competitive philosophies. Teams that prioritize interior scoring while possessing multiple perimeter threats may be underutilizing available talent and limiting offensive potential. Player development considerations extend beyond individual improvement to include maintaining confidence and natural instincts that made players successful initially. Overcoaching can sometimes diminish the very qualities that distinguish elite performers from standard players. The broader league context involves ongoing discussions about compensation equity and revenue distribution. Player advocates argue that current salary structures inadequately reflect growing league popularity and revenue generation capabilities. Financial analysis of specific franchises reveals substantial revenue potential through merchandise sales and fan engagement. Teams experiencing high jersey sales likely generate significant profits that could theoretically support increased player compensation without threatening organizational viability. Merchandise revenue calculations suggest that popular players generate substantial income streams for their franchises. Conservative estimates indicate that modest jersey sales figures could cover entire player salaries, highlighting the disconnect between revenue generation and compensation distribution. All-Star Weekend events provide platforms for collective player advocacy and league promotion simultaneously. Recent gatherings demonstrated both increased fan engagement and coordinated player messaging regarding compensation concerns. Player unity initiatives during marquee events reflect sophisticated organizational approaches to advocacy. Coordinated messaging through symbolic actions like matching apparel creates powerful visual statements without requiring extensive verbal explanation. International fan engagement demonstrates the league's expanding global reach and influence. Attendance from overseas supporters indicates growing international markets that could provide additional revenue opportunities for league expansion. The accessibility factor distinguishes women's professional basketball from other major sports leagues. Players maintain closer relationships with fans through direct interaction opportunities that create unique value propositions for audience engagement. Collective bargaining processes will likely address many current compensation concerns through formal negotiation channels. Player representatives and league officials must balance financial realities with growth potential and athlete expectations. Revenue sharing models used in other professional sports may provide frameworks for addressing compensation equity while maintaining organizational sustainability. Leagues with established profit-sharing systems often achieve better labor relations and competitive balance. Franchise valuation considerations reflect both current financial performance and future growth potential. Organizations investing in long-term development may accept short-term losses to build sustainable competitive advantages. Marketing and promotional strategies require balancing player advocacy with entertainment value delivery. Successful approaches typically integrate social messaging with high-quality competitive performance rather than treating them as competing priorities. Television and streaming partnerships create additional revenue streams that could support improved player compensation. Media rights negotiations will likely influence future salary discussions and league financial structures. Competitive balance concerns arise when financial constraints limit talent acquisition and retention. Leagues facing revenue distribution challenges may experience concentration of talent in specific markets with greater financial resources. International recruitment represents both opportunity and challenge for domestic league development. Attracting global talent enhances competitive quality while potentially complicating salary structures and roster management. Youth development programs benefit from increased league visibility and player accessibility. Professional athletes serving as role models for young fans create long-term growth opportunities that justify current investment in league promotion. Strategic planning requires balancing immediate competitive needs with sustainable organizational development. Short-term tactical decisions should align with long-term vision for franchise success and league growth. Coaching tenure and stability affect both player development and organizational culture. Frequent coaching changes may disrupt player confidence and system implementation, while prolonged conflicts between coaches and star players create unsustainable situations. Media coverage patterns influence public perception of league issues and player concerns. Balanced reporting that addresses multiple stakeholder perspectives typically produces more constructive dialogue than coverage that favors particular position. Fan engagement strategies must address diverse audience segments with varying interests and expectations. Successful approaches typically combine entertainment value with authentic competition and meaningful player interaction. Technology integration offers opportunities for enhanced fan experience and additional revenue generation. Digital platforms and streaming services create new distribution channels that may support improved financial structure. Sponsorship development requires demonstrating value propositions to corporate partners. Growing audience engagement and demographic diversity create attractive opportunities for brands seeking to reach expanding market segments. League governance structures affect decision-making processes and stakeholder representation. Systems that effectively balance player, ownership, and fan interests typically produce more sustainable outcomes than those favoring particular constituents. Player movement policies influence competitive balance and roster stability. Transfer and free agency rules must balance player autonomy with team building requirements and fan attachment to particular players. Training and development resources affect both individual player improvement and overall league competitiveness. Investment in player development infrastructure typically produces long-term benefits for organizational success and league quality. Performance evaluation systems require balancing individual achievement with team success metrics. Comprehensive assessment approaches consider multiple factors rather than relying solely on traditional statistical measure. Crisis management capabilities become crucial when organizations face public criticism or internal conflicts. Effective responses typically involve transparent communication and concrete action plans rather than defensive reaction. Long-term sustainability requires addressing fundamental questions about league financial structure, competitive balance, and growth strategy. Solutions that satisfy multiple stakeholder groups while promoting continued development offer the best prospects for sustained success. Current indicators suggest Caitlin Clark might be seeking medical consultation outside Indiana Fever's standard healthcare personnel, representing a notable departure in her injury treatment strategy after persistent groin complications that have affected her participation during this campaign. This development follows Clark's most recent right adductor groin injury, constituting her third major physical setback since the season commenced. Medical specialist Dr. Jesse Morris offered comprehensive evaluation of her circumstances, describing how groin injuries involve gradually healing tissue that stays vulnerable to additional damage and demands continuous activation during any leg-related athletic activity. Morris stressed the difficult characteristics of adductor problems, observing that even prolonged rest intervals spanning multiple weeks might demonstrate inadequate for total healing. His examination emphasized effective treatment methods, incorporating stem cell procedures at the exact connection location where the adductor longus tendon attaches to pelvic bone structure, especially when conventional anti-inflammatory approaches like platelet-rich plasma demonstrate insufficient results. The medical specialist's evaluation contained pointed criticism of existing treatment methods, declaring that whatever medical interventions the organizational personnel were applying seemed regrettably inadequate. This professional judgment implied substantial shortcomings in the present strategy toward Clark's injury treatment and rehabilitation scheduling. Coach Stephanie White's latest media session remarks offered perspective into developing medical consultation arrangement. White specified that Clark would consult with physicians during the week's beginning to receive supplementary testing before establishing a thorough treatment strategy. The coach verified Clark would remain unavailable for Tuesday's contest versus the Liberty, indicating ongoing uncertainty regarding her comeback schedule. White's declaration that Clark would consult various physicians instead of identifying team medical personnel created questions about these consultation characteristics. The language implied possible involvement of outside medical practitioners beyond the organization's typical medical team, suggesting an expanded strategy to her injury assessment. Analysts observed substantial distinctions between this medical methodology and earlier injury incidents. Previous treatments seem to depend mainly on organizational medical personnel, while current strategies suggest pursuit of additional medical perspectives from specialists potentially connected with NBA-caliber professional sports medicine facility. The choice to pursue outside medical consultation follows a sequence of recurring injury difficulties that have blocked Clark from finishing 5 straight healthy contests during the season. This exceptional availability pattern for a